I
second
have to
biggest.
change my take on that because I said last week that Paulo Costa was an idiot too because he needs to realize that the UFC wants to do business, that you have to give them some leeway. And I said that it's a little bit ridiculous for Paulo Costa to expect a one fight contract with boosted amount of money. And I said that, he should have been willing to take a 3 fight contract with more money per fight. But I think that even if he does want to leave the UFC, he's still a big name. It still brings a lot of value and hype to the
Mhm.
card. The UFC should have been willing to pay him a little bit more, say, okay, this is the last time we ever pay this guy. He's been a nuisance. He's missed weight. He's fucked us over. Bygones, let him be bygones. Let's get this guy on the card, and then he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Then we'll play hardball. We'll give him a little bit of taste of some bigger money and tempt him to come back, but then we'll play hardball. But they're too stupid and too prideful. They're ran by egomaniac old men that don't know how to manage the sport, that are thinking of themselves rather than the business, rather than the fans. And now we don't have that fight. We don't have Robert Whitaker, who's a hometown guy who's from Australia. We don't have Tai Tuivasa because he's a fool and he stepped in too early to fight Sergey Pavlovich. And the only big fights on the card right now are Islam Makhachev and Volkanovski. That's a phenomenal fight. Great fight. But that's basically the same thing as, that's it. I mean, you could put a fucking fake interim title on the line between Emmett and Yair. It's still a undeserving fight for a title. It doesn't have that much hype over it. Emmett's not a big star. Yair's still not a big star. He's only really a star amongst the hardcores, and most of them don't like him. And then Kai Kara France, another hometown local guy, is off the card. I know he's from New Zealand, but still he's from that area. I mean, Jesus, man, this card sucks. And then you have Parker Porter, you have Jimmy Crute. Like, who gives a fuck about these guys, honestly? Jimmy Crute's from the area, but like that's the biggest guy. Jack Della Maddalena, a guy they added to the card. That was a good addition. He's someone that only the hardcore fans know. Watch out for him. I'm excited for that fight. I think he could be the next best striker, stand-up fighter in the welterweight division, especially when Wonderboy retires. But this card is dog shit. It's dog shit. And Jacob, is this a card that's going to grow the UFC?
No, not at all. We were expecting this to be the card that does grow the UFC when Costa Whitaker was on it. You know what I mean? Like you said, like clearly Costa matters as like the card goes from being a one of the best cards like in the last like year to being a below average card by taking out one fight. Like just pay the man like, and then let's get it going. You're gonna sell more pay-per-views keeping that fight on, even if you spend a little bit more money. Like you're profiting regardless. UFC, like you're selling way more than these boxing promotions, boxing events that still end up making millions. So like, and they're paying their fighters way more. So I think it's ridiculous. I think this card is a disgrace. Yair versus Emmett. Like, let's just take out the intern belt on the line. Like a Matt, where would that card be on a pay-per-view? I don't even know if it'd be on a pay-per-view. It'd probably be on a fight night, right? Co-main
Yeah,
for
it'd
a
be a
fight
main
night or
event for a fight
something.
night.
Like maybe not even a main event. Maybe like a co-main or something. Like nobody cares about Josh Emmett. I mean, probably a main event, but like
They're just
I don't.
doing that so they can say 2 title fights to make it seem big, but the fans can see past it.
Yeah, and also they like that Volkanovski is fighting on it and
That's
his
such a good
former
fight,
main.
and you could
Yeah.
make it a big, big fight. The thing is, man, I mean, remember when Daniel Cormier fought Stipe? There were big names on the card.
Mm.
Ngannou was fighting Derek Lewis. That fight was shitty, but at least it was big in the making. And there were some other really good fights on that card too. Whenever they've done these double champ fights, they've had big cards like Connor versus Alvarez. UFC 205 was a big card.
Woodley
This
Wonderboy too.
Exactly. That was on it too, and that was a phenomenal fight. I think that was the first fight between them, or maybe the second. I'm pretty sure it was the first.
Oh, I don't
I think it may
remember.
have been the first.
Yeah.
Either way, it was a legendary card. And now you have a dog shite card, complete crap, a disgrace to the fans. And I'm gonna be honest, man. I mean, as excited I am, as excited as I am to see Volkanovski and Islam Makhachev, we all kind of know how that one's going to go down. And this card reminds me of Cowboy and Connor because I remember Holly Holm was like the co-main event, and then you had uh this random heavyweight that trained with John Jones a few times. I think his name is something Green. He's like really really tall, and he fought Olovsky or whatever his name, the grappler from Russia, the old bald
Oh yeah.
grappler from Russia.
Yeah. I forgot his name.
Olenek.
Well, yeah.
Those fights were on the main card. At least it was a Connor fight, but the card in general was shit. This
Yeah.
reminds me of the Cowboy Connor card. The card being complete dog shit, the main event being decent. The UFC once again was supposed to have these big fights at the start of the year. We were all really hyped about it. They're going back to Brazil. Then they're going to go to Perth. Big card after big card after big card.
And then
And
London.
now everything is trash. Even London is looking pretty trash. And if they don't make Hamzat versus Leon soon, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna be pissed. So the UFC, get your shit together and stop running your business with such a big ego.
Yeah,
Make
no,
the right decisions. Put a
exactly.
good product out there. Fucking A, how hard is it? There's too many fucking fighters in the UFC. I can't stand it.
No, it's also just like they can literally instantly fix this right now. It's just they clearly don't give a shit about the fans, you know? Like
Let's fix it. Let's fix it.
if they
Who
fixed
would
it,
you want to see added to the card?
I
And
mean, the easy one is Costa Whitaker as the featured fight. You
how
add
much you think Costa should get paid? He was getting paid like 70 for 70.
350K. Why Michael Chandler makes
Just for
300K?
just for one fight and then kick him out, never have him in the UFC again.
Yeah, you'll make way more money yourselves by doing that. You know, you just guys are just being stuck up idiots. You know,
Maybe even 200K. I'm sure he would take that.
he would yeah. I mean, probably 200K like plus like a
Or how about
plus
150
70K
for
bonus.
150? 100 or 200K to show up. Great. He'll
200K to
probably
show
lose
up.
that shit. They know Whitaker. If he
Yeah.
wins, then maybe he'll want to renegotiate, but the UFC can play hardball.
I mean, and Costa
So,
also obviously thinks he's gonna win since he's taking the fight. So yeah,
that
you
is the
give.
dangerous part, though. If he wins and they pay him a lot and then he wants to renegotiate, it's kind of a bad look to have this guy leave the UFC after beating Robert Whitaker.
I don't know if he would leave if he beat Robert Whitaker. I think he would want to fight for the belt. You know,
But then the UFC has to pay him, and the UFC
I
don't
think
want to
that
pay him.
I think I don't know if he's like he's not being that hard in terms of getting paid though. You know what I mean? It's not like he's asking for outrageous numbers. You know, so I don't think the UFC would mind paying him. I just
Mhm.
think right now they're being a bit stubborn and stuck up because he only has one deal left on his contract. You know, so
Yeah.
I think like if he does beat Robert Whitaker, which I mean I don't think the UFC, I think we and the UFC know he's probably not going to beat him. But you could be like, oh, if he does beat Robert Whitaker, I mean, he's for sure gonna want to stay, and he's not asking for anything outrageous. So, like, yeah, I don't think I don't think it's a bad scenario if he does win, but I don't think he's gonna win. So, but either way, I would add that on the card. I would pay Costa. I would say we'll give you 200K. If you can win, you can get another 150K.
And
So,
why not get Sandhagen and
Cheetah, why isn't that
Tito
on?
on that?
Why? Yeah, I don't understand why they have to
Or
make
or get
like,
Shavkat somebody on that. Get
yeah,
someone on there. Shavkat
there's
was
still
supposed to
some
fight next
time.
week. I'm sure you could get him another fight.
Bilal Muhammad, what's Bilal Muhammad doing right now?
Exactly. Put someone on the card, god damn it.
What's why does Gilbert Burns need to fight Magny? Why can't they move him to that card? I haven't heard one thing about that fight since they booked it, by the way.
Neil
Not
Magny and
one
Gilbert.
thing. Not one thing.
Gilbert's training right now. I'm sure they're gonna make that one happen. It's just
No, I mean I
just
haven't
see
heard any
another.
buzz around it, I guess.
Oh, there's no buzz around it
Nobody gives
because
a shit
it's
about
Neil
Neil
Magny.
Magny.
No one cares about him. And man, I was excited for the UFC to come out guns blazing in the new year with a big card, with stacked pay-per-views, and they've let us down once again. I will 100% not be buying this pay-per-view. I'll be streaming it. And who cares if I miss a little bit of the first few minutes or if my stream goes down because I already know the outcome. That's how trash this card is going to be. Everyone that was hating on us for saying that it's not going to be a competitive fight, it isn't. Just watch. So
No, it's not
UFC's
going.
fucking up again.
Volk's getting submitted in the first round, by the way. I changed my prediction.
You think so?
There's no way Islam's gonna like
Dude,
no.
Volk is so good, bro. I gotta say, he's so
He's an
good. But
amazing
like,
striker. I was rewatching the Holloway fight yesterday, and
yeah.
like I was just shocked like how good he was from the start to finish. Because I remember the first round being kind of close, second round being kind of close, but then Volk taking over. But the first round was not very close at all.
No, it
The
wasn't.
second round was not very close at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, Volk striking is ridiculous. I just don't think it's gonna really matter. I think
He's just
Islam
too
just gonna,
small.
yeah, I think Islam's just gonna take him down kind of right away. Honestly, I mean, I don't know. Maybe not right. I think Volk is gonna try to strike with him. Islam's gonna clinch with him a little bit, and then I think he's gonna take him down. I think he's gonna
I
choke
would
him.
be surprised if he submits him in the first round. I think like Volk is too fast. I think he's too careful to just go in there. And one thing that I'm curious to see is how Islam deals with such a short opponent. He likes to go for a lot of body trips where he'll
Yeah,
lock his arms around someone's body and he'll try to trip them. And Volk might be hard to hold on to because he's like a short, compact guy. Either way, how is he going to win this fight? I don't think he's
no
going to be
way.
able to outpoint Islam Makhachev. He's not
Some
knocking
point
him out.
he's not.
How's
He's
he going
getting
to win?
submitted. He's getting submitted. No, he's getting taken down at least once a round. You know what I mean? Like you
That's
gotta.
the thing, man. Like he's gonna get taken down, and it's gonna be hard to hit Islam. And even if he does hit him, like it's only a matter of time before he's taken down.
He's not gonna do
I
any
think
damage when he hits him either. You
if
know,
he
like
wins, though, that's the next goat right there. Because
oh,
if he
that's
wins,
amazing.
imagine this: he beats Islam, drops back down, beats the winner of Yair and Emmett, goes back
Retires.
up, stays at 55, wins again, retires. He's the goat.
Oh, without a doubt, nobody's
Imagine
done.
that, like
Nobody's
crazy.
nobody's like. I mean, I know DC.
Henry Cejudo defended his belt like in both divisions, but he didn't defend his belt a bunch of times at
Yeah.
125.
He
He fought
he's
once.
lost. He's also lost. Like Volk never
Yeah,
lost in UFC. You know, and he's barely lost any rounds in the UFC for that matter.
yeah.
So no, I think that would be a great
I
moment.
hope he wins, man.
I mean, I guess I want him to win. I just don't think it's like reasonably like you know what I mean. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think there's like any. I think there's like a 1% chance he wins. Like truly, like a 1%. Like I'd be shocked if it happens. I just don't think that Volk. If Volk isn't knocking down the Korean Zombie in the first couple rounds, he's not knocking down
No,
Islam. No, you saw. I mean, we all watched that Korean Zombie fight. He didn't knock him out.
he
It was
looked great. He
standing.
looked phenomenal. He didn't
But
get hit
Korean
yet, but
Zombie
it's
was
just
like 37. You know what I mean?
his
And like
power, though, is what you're saying. It's like
it's not
he's not
there.
like knocking these guys on their
No,
ass.
I mean I think he's definitely has power, but I don't know if he has one punch knockout
No, he
power.
doesn't.
And if you don't have one punch knockout power at 45, it's not going to translate to 50. Like you're not going to have it at 55, and that's what you need to knock out an Islam Makhachev or a Khabib or one of those guys. You know, one punch knockout power, and he just doesn't have it. Because you're not going to outpoint him, like you said. Islam will take you down like each round a couple times probably. So you're gonna have to like you're gonna have very few moments, and if you can capitalize on the moments, you'll beat one of these guys. But he doesn't have that ability to capitalize, I don't think. So yeah, no, I think that there's no way he wins. I'm I may have been a little bit like I don't actually now that I really think about it, maybe not first round, but I think it's gonna be kind of early in the fight, the first 2 rounds, first 3 rounds. It won't be a
What
real
about a
challenge
decision?
for Islam. Nah, I just I think there's gonna be too many. I think Islam's gonna put Volk in too many uncomfortable positions that at some point he's gonna be able to finish him, in my opinion. Because like he's never been in those positions. I mean, actually, he's been in those tough positions twice, and he almost got finished against Ortega, a guy who's way worse of a grappler than Islam. You know, like I know
But to be fair, he was Ortega's had those latched in, and his jiu-jitsu is so good. I mean, I don't know if you could fault Volk for that. Like, you know what I mean? And he it wasn't like he was taken down, but either way, it was impressive that he got out of the way of those that he got
but
out of
like
those
imagine that
punches.
was Islam in his
Yeah,
position.
Islam has a different
Islam's
bit.
way
He has a
stronger.
stronger squeeze.
He's way stronger. You know, you take the strongest 55er maybe ever versus just a regular 45er. Like who do you think is gonna have a stronger squeeze? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think Islam is gonna put him in
He's just
so
built different, bro. These guys from that area, they're just built
yeah,
different.
they're just on a different level in terms of everything, you know,
Volk
especially
is
their
so
strength.
good, but like if Islam, here's my question. If Islam was the same size as Volk, who do you think wins that fight?
I still think Islam. I just think the wrestling
Still
is
think
just,
Islam.
I think his strength's on another level. That's what I think it is. I think these guys have
But isn't that because he's bigger?
I don't even think it necessarily does have to do with the size because you see these guys out grappling guys like Luke Rockhold who are very good grapplers at their division, which is the 185-pound division. You know, like I think that they just are so good at like knowing like
So you
technique
think that
and
he's the
where to
best
put their
fighter right now,
strength.
skill for skill in the UFC?
Him or Kamzat, I think, you know, one of the two without a
I
doubt.
don't know if Hamzat's proven it though, because
He's
like
not proven it, but I think he has
I feel
that.
like Makhachev's stand up is so impressive to me nowadays because he doesn't ever get hit, and like not getting hit at all by Oliveira. he got hit a couple times, but
But I think it was because he was hesitant. I think Oliveira
yeah.
was scared to get taken down. I think that's
But he
why.
was throwing, and the thing is, Islam was getting out of the way and countering, and I just think that if he was unscathed, even when Oliveira was a little bit tentative, he was still throwing, never gets hit. That defense is just as impressive as someone who's pretty good offensively. And
Mhm.
I got it. I don't, to be honest, I like Hamzat. I just think I haven't seen enough of him
No,
with his
I just know he has
striking.
that ability though. At least like.
I don't, but he gets hit, man. He doesn't have the ability that
I mean,
Islam has
he doesn't get
defensively.
hit. He doesn't get hit. He's gotten hit
But
once
my point is,
four
he
of
gets
his.
hit on the feet when he's standing with guys. When
Yeah,
he's
I mean, but that was
grappling, when he
only with
chooses to
Gilbert
grapple, he doesn't get
Burns.
hit.
But that was only with Gilbert Burns. I think his whole fight was like not the game plan wasn't that great.
But
Like
When has Islam ever stood with someone and went to war?
he doesn't because
That's my, but that's the
Kamzat
thing.
didn't fight smart.
He will stand. We've only ever seen Hamzat stand for real, like for multiple minutes with one guy. Every other fight he has, he's immediately taking people down.
Yeah, but
His
Islam.
grappling is perfect. I just don't know if he's as well rounded on the feet yet because
Gets hit
our
too.
only time seeing him strike for a long period of time was against Gilbert, and for sure he lost his mind a little bit, and he looked good in the first round, but still he did get hit a little bit. He doesn't move his head that much, and that to me is a bit concerning, just when it comes to the striking.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, I just think I mean like we do. I think he just has that ability and talent to be the best guy in the UFC. But you are right.
I think he could,
You are right that he hasn't shown it enough yet to like I guess be considered it. So yeah, no, I
and
mean
I'm just talking about his striking. That's it, just
so
the
I guess
striking.
Islam right now is the best overall fighter in the UFC. I think Khamzat's too.
I think he pretty much is because like Volkanovski's great offensively and defensively, but Islam, sure, he's not phenomenal offensively, but he's improved. He's good offensively. He's not even like
He's got some
semi
good
good. He is
counter. He's got
good.
some good
And
countering now.
yeah, and he's amazing defensively. Like this dude literally is the hardest person to hit in the UFC.
Yeah.
And is obviously his grappling is next level. We saw it versus Oliveira. Even though Oliveira was fine in the first round, I mean, if he once he hurt Oliveira, he just submitted him easily. I think Islam's like fucking next level, man, and that's why I'd love to see him versus like Arman Sarukian because
Or
who
Duddy.
else is going to challenge him? I don't think anyone else challenges him right now. I mean, even Fiziev, Fiziev fought RDA. He was shooting takedowns, but this is an older RDA. He's not the same grappler. Like, dude, I don't think anyone can beat him right now except for maybe Arman, and
I
I
mean,
don't think Arman beats
even
him.
could. I mean, Armin lost. I mean, Armin fought him in his first fight in the UFC and was definitely a close fight. But I think since then, Islam's gotten a lot better. I think Armin's definitely gotten a lot better too. But I think that the
Yeah.
jump that Islam had compared to Armin is just way higher. So I don't even
Anyone
think
could beat him
anyone
though,
really
though.
sure.
Like because like we saw Usman get KO'd.
Usman wasn't as good defensively though.
No, you're right. You are
You
right.
know, like I
That's
mean,
true. He got hit more often in his career.
yeah,
Way more
he
often.
got hit by Colby a bunch. He got clipped by
Yeah.
Burns. You know what I mean?
I
Like
can't wait for that fight. It's such a shame that they're probably not going to make it happen.
which one?
Usman and Leon.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that in a second. But yeah, to wrap up that Perth discussion, I mean, Islam versus Volk is not gonna be close. That Perth card is a joke. They better put Costa Whitaker on it, and they better,
They're not. I don't think they are, bro.
dude, the stubbornness. Like it's like, come on now. Like how many? Like it's UFC 279 was a joke. UFC 282 was a joke. Brazil card's a joke, 283 and now 284. So that's four out of like the last like seven cards like are
Bro,
back.
they always start off the year with dog shit cards. The only time they haven't done that is 2021. They had remember they did 3 cards in 1 week. They had Max Holloway, Calvin Cater. Then on that Wednesday, they did Michael Chiesa versus like Neil Magny or some shit. And then that next Saturday they had Connor and Poirier. Then they had Hooker and
Chandler.
fucking Chandler. That was such a good start to the year, and they're
But
fucking it up,
they didn't
dude.
even end the year well in
They didn't even end
2022,
it that
you
well,
know?
bro. Like, god damn it, man. This fight night that's coming up was gonna be okay.
With
Not
Shopkai,
anymore.
yeah.
Who the
Now it's
fuck
awful.
cares about Gastelum and Imavov?